They fought each other, survived a brutal obstacle course, and faced down things none of them understand. Now the survivors must face the most terrifying trial yet, a test in a blood-soaked valley where the lines between friend and foe are blurred. This is part 2 of the Freshman Massacre.
29th September, 2100 hours. Core subjects, 14. Status, 6 living, 4 casualties, 0 missing.
Of the 10 subjects we met in part 1, only 6 remain. 4 cadets, 5, 6, 7, and 9, are no longer with us. The 6 will continue to follow are Cadet 1, the bloodthirsty predator who sees his classmates as mere obstacles to his ambition. In part 1, we recounted his callous murder of another cadet. Cadet 2, loyal to a fault. His skills are catching up to his instincts, and he's shaping up to be a formidable officer. Cadet 3, the brilliant, steady leader. Cadet 4, she's sick and tired. She didn't want to be here, but she's survived trials no one expected her to pass. Call it luck or strategy, but something, or someone, is keeping her alive. Cadet 8, the one with the most experience. He flunked his first year, but he's stronger, smarter, and more prepared this year. Cadet 10, arrogant, aggressive, and a clear liability. He's somehow still standing, but his luck is about to run out. In the course of this episode, we'll introduce 4 new subjects, 4 new case files to pore over, 4 new faces in a brutal year of terror, betrayal, and inexplicable deaths. But we'll keep coming back to Cadet 4, because she's the one who saw it all. But before we get to their case files, there's a secret we need to reveal. In part 1, we highlighted a series of sudden illnesses, dizziness, weakness, freshmen vomiting mid-match. We identified the pattern. The incidents always coincided with Cadet 4's matches. We wondered how she poisoned her opponents and how she was getting away with it. We had our suspicions, but held back judgment until we became sure. Now, there's no doubt. It was her, Cadet 4. She's definitely the one who's been poisoning the cadets. No one else stood to benefit. Only her opponents suddenly fell sick. The question was never really who. It's obvious she did it. The real mystery was how. How could a cadet, who can barely walk a straight line without pain, pull off a series of perfectly timed poisonings without a single witness? I command shadows. I command shadows. That's the valedictorian, in a stunning admission from a just-recovered file. Suddenly, a phantom master poisoner operating with impunity doesn't seem so impossible. Is the valedictorian her accomplice? A ghost in the halls, literally cloaking her in darkness as she carries out her work? It's circumstantial, we know, but you have to admit it's a compelling theory. To understand the valedictorian and the secrets he's capable of keeping, we have to look at another discovery. A group of students, the marked ones, are holding secret late-night unauthorized meetings, a blatant capital offense, and yet no one ever reports them. We don't have any answers why, but we're full of theories. Maybe the valedictorian's intimidating witnesses, or maybe he's been hiding the marked ones, making sure no one sees anything. The valedictorian, as we've seen, knows a thing or two about secrets, secret meetings, 4's secret poisoning side quest, and maybe the secrets of his father, the executed rebel. He's a man burdened by secrets, the weight of which will either make him fear them or force him to become their master. In a confidential report, 4 recounts what she saw at one of the marked ones' midnight meetings. It's here we get a glimpse of the valedictorian, unfiltered and pragmatic, a leader forged in fire. People die. It's not glorious like the bards sing about either. It's snapped necks and 200-foot falls. You learn what they teach you. Keep what you know, but recite whatever they tell you to. Moments later, the valedictorian discovers an eavesdropping 4. Let me guess. You could smell my perfume. Isn't that what always gives the heroine away in books? I command shadows, he scoffs. But sure, it was your perfume that gave you away. In that confrontation in the dark, a deal was struck. Cadet 4 will keep the valedictorian's secret about the illegal meetings, and he'll later agree to keep hers when he learns of her work as a master of poisons. So Cadet 4 becomes an accomplice to treason, and the valedictorian becomes an accomplice to public safety violations. That's the foundation of their relationship, secrets, and dangerous machinations. The case file paints a fascinating portrait of their relationship. Cadet 4 was enchanted when she first saw him. She describes him as the most exquisite man she's ever seen, with a trouble and you like it level of hot. The valedictorian, however, is said to have looked at her with cold, unadulterated hatred, so intense that 4 would say that she could almost taste the loathing wafting off him. Yet, in the secret meeting, when another marked one asked when they could kill her, the valedictorian's response was simple. She's his to handle. A possessive and chilling statement. Is he claiming his future victim or protecting a future asset? Their relationship continues to unfold during the cadets' next trial. Official records call it threshing, an asset acquisition exercise. The cadets are ushered into a forested valley where the air tastes of scorched earth and the silence is a living, breathing thing. The rules are simple: secure your asset and leave alive. That's it. But what the college didn't say was this. The real test wasn't survival. It was a cold, hard lesson in who to trust. Official records list 101 assets. Our analysis of the case files reveals these weren't ordinary assets. They're powerful, sentient beings. Fierce, deadly, mythical. The cadets were sent after dragons. The next unsettling detail from the documents we've reviewed is the statistics. 137 dragons were willing to bond last year, and 126 the year before that. This year's 101 dragons is a sharp drop. It's clear the dragons are wary of the cadets, wary of a school with a terrifying body count.
1st October, 0900 hours. Core subjects, 10. Status, 10 living, 0 casualties. 0 missing.
What happened at Threshing is a jumbled mess of fragmented testimony with a violent confrontation at its center. We'll piece the truth together from 3 incident reports: Cadet 4's, Cadet 1's, and that from Cadet 11. Cadet 11, our first newcomer, claims he was pressured into joining Cadets 1 and 10 in hunting a small, defenseless golden dragon. Cadet 1's testimony corroborates this, but frames it as a duty. Letting something so weak, so incapable of fighting live is against our beliefs. He saw it as his mission to eliminate a liability before claiming a more powerful dragon for himself. A dangerous and frankly idiotic plan, to say the least. According to 11, Cadet 4 appeared out of nowhere, a flash of steel in the clearing. He says Cadet 1 was ecstatic. He saw an opportunity to take out both the weakest links at the same time. He drew his blade and moved in for the kill. He expected it to be easy. Surely 4 wouldn't fight back. But she drove a dagger deep into his shoulder. And Cadet 1, the predator, the killer from the mats, ran. He tucked tail and abandoned his men. Cadet 4's account fills in the blanks. She confirms she intervened, but she adds a critical detail 11 left out. The valedictorian was there, watching, alongside his huge blue dragon. 10's blade tore through 4's leg, and 11 raised his sword for the killing blow. He didn't notice the sudden hush in the air, the way the light suddenly died. A massive shadow fell over the clearing, and the still air grew heavy. There was a flash of pure black and the sound of a blast. An overwhelming, searing, unnatural heat followed. In that single horrifying instant, Cadet 10 was gone. Nothing left but the smell of burned ash and fear. In the chaos, 4 knocks 11 out and leaves him unconscious on the valley floor. So, let's examine the facts of what happened. 1. Cadet 10 is dead, vaporized by a dragon. 2. Cadet 1 is wounded, but he's bonded to a small orange dragon, the size and stature a symbol of his failure. He'll need surgery on his shoulder, but there's no healing his wounded pride. 3. Cadet 11 is wounded, unbonded, and a loose end. 4. The Valedictorian was present, a convenient observer who, according to 4's testimony, narrated the attack at a critical moment, allowing her to gain the upper hand. He broke no explicit rules, but his actions walked a razor's edge. And 5. Cadet 4 walks out of the valley with the small gold dragon, and the giant black one that saved her life. A feat unheard of in the college's history. When they get back to the college, a private confrontation is witnessed by a handful of cadets. A fragmented report describes a visibly relieved unit leader greeting 4. He's said to have been horrified that she returned with 2 dragons. He's concerned that 4 will have to choose between them and urges her to choose the safest option, the small gold one. When he learns of the Valedictorian's presence during the trio's attack, he explodes, accusing him of orchestrating the entire attack to use Cadet 4 for revenge against her mother. It's a damning accusation, but the Valedictorian's reply, recorded in the file, is ice cold. And even if I had, he asks, would you really level that accusation knowing it would have been what saved the woman you call your best friend? When pressed about whether he would have broken the rules to save her, the unit leader's answer is a quiet, devastating no. Cadet 4 explicitly notes that the unit leader, her best friend since childhood, valued rule and order more than relationships, more than her. He values rules more than her life, remember that. Because just moments later, he's holding her face, whispering, I would do anything to save you, to keep you safe, before kissing her. Is he a man, hopelessly in love but torn by duty, or a man so bound to duty that he can't see when it's the wrong choice? But there's something else. 4's black dragon is mated to the Valedictorians. Their life forces are now intertwined. As he later tells her, you die, I die. The Valedictorian's past is tied to 4, and now so is his future. The Valedictorian's seemingly endless trove of secrets continue to surface. Our files confirm he bears 107 scars on his back, 1 for each of the marked ones he swore to protect. His life is forfeit if any of them betray the kingdom. And now, his life is also tied to the daughter of his enemy. But what's 1 more scar to an already battered man? There's more to these 3. But to understand the full picture, we need to introduce the other players on the board. Let's open the case files on the rest of the new cadets. We're familiar with 11 and his unsuccessful hunt, so let's focus on the rest of the new cadets we mentioned, starting with Cadet 12. She's been with us since the beginning, but she's a ghost in the system. There's barely any paperwork in her case file, no redactions, just a blank slate. No history or mention of family. In this institution that's obsessed with bloodlines and records, we find a person with no past very suspicious. Next is Cadet 14, the Golden Boy. He's the standout of the freshman class. He had the fastest time during the Ninja Warrior obstacle course we covered in Part 1 and consistently ranks at the top of every challenge. He's a hero, but his file tells another story. A story of secret meetings, late-night escapades with the Valedictorian, and allegations of a hidden agenda. There's a pattern and story with these meetings, and a picture is forming. Lastly, there's Cadet 13. Her file is damaged, but what we've salvaged points to a northern village and a deep, violent hatred for the marked ones. We've repeatedly mentioned them throughout this episode. So let's really dive in. Our investigation into them hit a wall until a single redacted name in 14's file led us to a 6-year-old execution order. Then suddenly, everything snapped into focus. The great betrayer, the valedictorian's father, wasn't executed alone. The parents of Cadet 14 and dozens of others were killed that day. They were charged with being rebels, and their children were all branded with a unique mark, a symbol of their parents' treason, and conscripted into this very college. Is this why 13 hates them? All of them, rebel children or loyalists, were sent to this college that trains the military and serves as a prison camp for the children of a failed revolution. 14's file gave us more insight into the marked ones. After their parents' execution, they were all fostered under different families of Navarian loyalists. 14 and the valedictorian were fostered together, away from 14's younger sister. We'll get to her later. 14 and the valedictorian are particularly close. He's even, on multiple occasions, heard saying that he owes him everything. The marked one's secret late-night meetings are a capital offense. It's illegal for more than 3 of them to gather at once. The kingdom, it seems, isn't taking any chances on them being like their parents. But they've still been meeting. What could be so important for them to risk their lives?
1st October, 2200 hours. Core subjects, 10. Status, 8 living, 1 casualty, 1 missing.
Wait, did you catch that? The log says 1 missing. Let's make a note of it and circle back later. As the dust from Threshing settles, even more bonds are revealed. Cadets 2, 3, 8, and the golden boy, 14, all succeed. All of them now have dragons. But what about Cadet 12, the ghost in the system? She was last seen on the back of an orange dragon on the night of the 1st of October. It's reported that she fell from its back on the maiden flight back to school. An accident, according to witness statements. But there are no records of what happened to her body. Which brings us back to that archival log.
Status, 1 missing.
12 is a loose thread, and this investigation pulls on every fray. Did she really fall from a dragon's back? And if so, what happened to her body? While our investigation was focused on the ghost that's Cadet 12, the survivors were facing a more immediate threat. The unbonded cadets, humiliated at Threshing, were seething. Official records show a series of escalating altercations, all directed at one person, Cadet 4. It was only a matter of time, in our view, before things turned violent. Weeks later, in the dead of night, they did. Cadet 11 returns to finish what he started in the valley. Just like then, he's not alone this time too. He's leading a squad of hitmen straight to Cadet 4's door. 4, quick to action, is saved by a telepathic warning from her black dragon and a dragon scale vest, an enrollment gift from her older sister. As 11 moves in for the kill, Cadet 4's small golden dragon does something impossible. According to 4's testimony, a detail she herself seems to barely comprehend, her small golden dragon stopped time. In that frozen moment, a spectre of vengeance appears in the doorway, a dark, avenging angel, and his judgment is swift. You're all fucking dead. The valedictorian single-handedly eliminates 6 of 4's attackers without hesitation, becoming judge, jury, and executioner to protect her. He helps her clean the blood from the floor and then wards her door. Later, he exposes another battalion leader for orchestrating the attack, believing 4's explanation of what happened, unlike the unit leader who doubts her claims. From this point on, his protection of Cadet 4 becomes an obsession. He wards the door to her room so that only she can open it. He assigns 14 as her bodyguard. He instructs a couple of second years to train her, and he's always watching her, even during classes. Their files detail a passionate and complicated relationship. While the official documents go into explicit detail, we'll keep our broadcast PG. For those interested in the unredacted account, a link is available in the description and show notes. The case files also reveal new details about the relationships between the cadets. After the battalion leader is executed, cadets 2, 3, and 8 physically stand by cadet 4. Their alliance has developed into a full-fledged friendship. It's also expanded to include cadet 2 and cadet 14. After threshing, cadet 8 is seen leaving cadet 3's room one morning, red-cheeked and awkward.
5th January, 2200 hours. Core subjects, 10. Status, 7 living, 2 casualties, 1 missing.
At this point, our investigation has uncovered the beginnings of a conspiracy that's complicated by deepening, dangerous attachments. We know who the marked ones are and what they've lost, and we've introduced dragons and seen their deadly strength. But for every fact we uncover, every lie we expose, a deeper, more intricate design emerges. In the third and final part of the Freshman Massacre, we'll dissect the anatomy of that design. We'll return to that cool summer morning, to the battle that officially went down as a win, and to the lies that buried the truth. What really happened, and who paid the ultimate price. Stay tuned for the third and final part of the Freshman Massacre,